Okay, welcome, and today in this video what we're going to do is we're going to talk about how to use your calculator to graph functions. Okay, so this is a graphing calculator, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you using the video camera how to enter to do certain graphs. Okay, so the first thing you want to do in here, I'm going to use this example, is enter this equation, this function into our calculator and then graph it. Okay, so the sequence of steps is important. Okay, so I'm going to show you how I do it, and again, you can play around with it and familiarize yourself with it as well. So I'm going to show you how to put this into the calculator. So we're going to take this calculator here, and what we're going to do is, first thing we're going to do is we need to go to the y equals. Okay, so right up here is over here is the y equals. Okay, so we want to press y equals, and so now it's going to give us a whole list of values that we can put into our calculator. Okay, so these are the list of functions or equations that we can put in. So I'm going to just put mine into y1. Okay, so y1, and then what we want to do is we want to put in 2x. Now for 2, obviously we press 2, but for an x, well, where do we go for the x? Well, right up here is this key right here that has all these symbols in here. So again, depending on the mode your calculator is in, these are where your variables come in. So if we press it, it'll put an x. Okay, now we want to do plus 8. So then we just do the operation plus, which is right here, and then 8, and then now we've got our function. Now all we have to do is hit enter. Okay, so just hit enter, and then now all we have to do is graph it. Now if we go to graph, which is right here, we want to hit the graph key right here, and if we hit the graph key, there's our graph. Okay, now sometimes when you graph, it's not going to show up on the window, or maybe we don't want all of this over here. Maybe we don't want to see, maybe we want this more centered and we want a more close-up picture. Well, this is where we have to go in and play with our window. So if you look right here is the window key, and if we go in there and we press window, here's all the different things we can play with. Okay, so here's our x minimum. What's the minimum value of x, the maximum value of x, and the scale. The minimum value of y, the maximum value of y, and the y scale. Okay, and again, we're just going to play with the x min and max and the y min and max. So let's say we just want the graph to be centered. So let's do -6 instead of -10. Let's do -6. So we're going to do the negative key, and we're going to do 6, right? And then we're going to hit enter. And now y max, what do we want to do for y max? Let's leave that at 10, and let's go to y minimum. Let's do y minimum. Let's make that -6 too. So -6, and then at this point we can hit enter and then hit graph. So let's go back to graph. Okay, so it moved a little bit. Okay, so let's see what we could do. Okay, oops. Let me quit out of this, clear. Okay, so now let's go to our window again. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do -6, and now I'm going to do +2. I'm going to make this a 2. Okay, so let me do this way. So let me do this. It'll be a little quicker. -2 Okay, so here's what I did. So I put these values into the window. Okay, so now I'm going to hit graph, and now my graph is more centered on the window. So again, my point is you can play with the graph to get things to match up. Now, if you want the standard window, like if you want to go back to the standard, you can go to zoom here, and now you can go to the standard window. The standard window is this window we started with. Okay, so if we go down to standard window, which is number 6, Z standard. Okay, and then you hit enter, or you could just press number 6. But okay, so that gets us back to where we started. So the standard window is always 10 to negative 10 in both the y and x direction. Okay, so that's how we graph a function. So other than that, I'll see you next time.